Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Resident Rulebreakers. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Camille.
And we have a very special guest co-host today, our fellow admin, Brittany, from the Resident Fox Fans Facebook group. She's going to join us today to talk about episode 401.
Hi!
Hey, Brittany.
We're really excited.
I'm excited to be here.
So, Brittany is a good friend of ours. You and I have been friends
Maybe
for like,
longer.
What, 3 years
It's been a while. It's been a while. We've started way too many groups together. We have to stop doing that because we have way too many now.
Yes, and also what is it? She's a big Gilmore Girls fan. So
that's me. I started watching The Resident because of Matt. So today's podcast, like I mentioned, is 401, the season 4 premiere. The episode title was A Wedding, a Funeral, and it was obviously, we've already interviewed Daniela and Eric, but they are the co-writers for that episode. The director was Rob Korn, as we mentioned earlier, and Rob is a veteran director for the show. So, and he also directed 402. I think they have a 2-episode count for each director now because of COVID.
That's smart.
So,
I'm kind of excited. Yeah. I feel like this, the premiere, I think that it's honestly the best episode they've done so far.
It was so fast. I felt like it was so fast. The premiere just was like so smooth that it was just it just went by so fast, and I was like, it's over? This is over? It was so smooth.
It was a smooth episode, yeah. They did a really good job. I mean, like, I have a lot of people who, we had a post in the group that said she had COVID, and she said it was very realistic for what she went through. And my heart broke for her, but she said it was really realistic. And a lot of that goes back to Daniela and her experience.
I mean, when we talked to Daniela, she said that it was cathartic for her because she was it was pretty much like her experience on paper kind of thing. Like she was drawing on to her own experience. I think, and I guess that's why a lot of people had such an emotional connection to it, especially those who had COVID. I haven't had COVID, thank God, knock on wood. You know what I mean? To see that experience a real on screen or whatever. But I am glad though that it wasn't a whole episode of COVID. It wasn't a drawn out storyline of COVID kind of thing. Because I think that if it was a drawn out storyline of COVID, we would have lost a lot of people. Because honestly, I'm getting tired of watching it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm getting tired of watching it on the news.
I agree.
I'm getting tired of hearing it on the news. I'm getting tired of talking about it on social media. It's depressing or whatever. So I'm glad that COVID storyline only lasted,
because it's such a
30 minutes.
It's an important topic. They have to address it, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been able to deal with like a half season of COVID. That would have been not good, not fun.
I'm glad it was a one and done episode where it was contained inside it, and they did a phenomenal job with it. And
a couple of things that I wanted to touch upon with COVID, though, with this COVID storyline, is I'm so happy that they touched upon the lack of organization as far as like the medical supplies that they needed for the doctors. You know what I mean? But it was. That whole thing is just crazy. And I know, like, our Maryland governor, at least several governors, I don't know about any other governor, but Maryland governor had to get supplies from China because, like, American-made supplies or whatever were in low stock or whatever. So, it's like the whole storyline where Kim had to get supplies from Korea or whatever. So that's actually based in reality because other supplies were slow or whatever. And also the other thing that I'm really glad that they touched on, because I don't think I haven't seen other shows really touch on it as much, is the racist effect of this on Asian Americans, on Asians, period. Because like Kim was saying, I'm born here. I'm born in America. You know what I mean? I've never been to China or anything like that, but I get blamed for this. I get, attacked for this. People are questioning my leadership skills or whatever, because they of this China virus, Kung flu or whatever, which are direct quotes from
considering Trump. One of our co-writers is of Asian descent.
Eric Liu.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to touch on it when we interviewed him. But, yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm glad that those things were talked about during the COVID storyline. And I'm also glad that Hundley is
Oh, man, I was worried the whole time. Worried the whole time. I was like, why would they choose her? Why would they choose her? Like, they have to kill off someone. Sure, I get it. But why her? I was so mad the whole time.
But they had a little funny scene where the doctors couldn't figure out where the wires went.
I love that scene, and Conrad leans over and goes, "Surgeons, huh?" Because he's not a surgeon.
Yeah, they're like, I'm sitting there going, "They're doctors. How do you not know?" But I mean, like, it's true. Like, the importance of nurses. You know what I mean? But yeah. So anyway, that, and also, and I felt so bad for Devon's dad and stuff. And that's a lot.
Both his parents got COVID and his mother survived it.
Both of his parents. And so, but yeah, the Devon's dad is a cab driver. He was worried about like paying rent, paying his bills or whatever. So he was risking getting COVID for money, just to live. And that's what a lot of people in the United States are doing right now, is like, do risk.
Yeah, I think it was a good storyline to touch upon, because so many people are going I mean, I'm really high risk, and my husband still has to go to work every day, and he's in a kitchen. He takes a lot of precautions, but I can't work, so we have really no choice here. So I like that they chose that storyline, that to go that way, to go into the there are plenty of people who need the money, and working class people who put their lives on the line because they have to work to survive.
Yep, that's true. Like, we have no choice. We get really, do you risk getting COVID, or do you live and not have enough money to live?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm lucky that, like, I don't have to have that choice, but I do feel bad for others who have to make that choice all the time. You know what I mean? I'm glad that they touched upon that, because, it's sad, but it's reality. They put a lot of stuff in the COVID storyline for such a short period of time.
I mean, they literally put back like the March 2nd, 2020. That's like a week before my birthday last year. So my birthday is March the 7th. So that was the last time I ate out in a restaurant, was my birthday last year. And I remember feeling safe to go in a restaurant. Now it's not that case, but to say that was their first case of COVID in that hospital. And this guy was from Seattle, which, by the way, was the first epicenter of COVID. So they did a good job with the history of it, I think. But Conrad realized immediately what it was. Yeah, I mean, I realized, I was like, this guy's got COVID.
And then you said Seattle, and I was like, here it goes. It's starting right now.
Yep. But they really just they just slowly sneaked in that Conrad declined Kim's offer from the finale from last year. So I was like, they just snuck it in and let it go.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a big to do about it. So, but that was one of our guesses from when we were talking about it, Camille, it was Conrad going to, what was his decision going to be? And there it is. So there's your answer.
And they were all like, why is your face not on the wall or whatever?
Right.
Conrad was like, hard pass. No way.
But you were actually
I'm not surprised.
He should be. He should have said yes.
Well, I thought it would be a way for them to get Red Rock out, but yeah.
I hate what they did. I'm so mean for saying this, but they covered a really important topic, but I hate when they try to redeem Kim in any way, because I just know why. Don't make me like him in any way. Don't make me. I'm not going to. Just why? I just get mad. Like, oh, you did something good. Good for you. I get really mad about it whenever they do that.
I feel like with both Cain and Kim, it's too late. Like they're trying to give them redemption storylines or like.
Even this is going back, but when he his love, or like his first love, or what is her first? Justine. Starts with Justine. When she died, it was like, well, we've all loved someone. I was like, you can't make me like him. Do not try.
Well,
I wouldn't
this
have punched him
episode
the whole
really
time,
makes
but
you
that's
hate
not
him worse. So
always
selfish and greedy and just
not surprising.
horrible.
Though, again, another thing that was not surprising. His behavior was right on point for his character.
See, the thing about it is I don't see what he did as the worst thing, because they don't have money. There's no like surgeries happening. There's no money coming in. They need money to come in, so to help the patients that are, like with COVID and everything else, and to get the supplies or whatever. So it's like, as horrible as Cain is, there's like no money coming in. There's a lot of money going out. The hospitals might be going bankrupt. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you catch 22? You know what I mean?
And this is one thing I saw, because I read a lot of reviews to try to prepare me, especially when we start doing new episodes like this. And one thing that they noticed was the other shows covered COVID too, but this one covered the administration side, where their hospitals are going bankrupt because of the virus, and none of their shows really talked about it. The Resident did. So that's the one difference that this show did. That
I can get behind the whole they need money thing, but I feel like he pressured him way too much. I mean, call a couple patients. I guarantee there's some out there that's like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. But this guy was genuinely worried about COVID, and he was pushing him, because we all know there are plenty of people out there who don't care about COVID that I'm sure Cain could have called and been like, hey, you want to do your surgery? We'll just say it's emergency. And they would have been like, yeah, sure, because I don't believe in COVID. I feel like that's awful, but it would have been just as.
Yeah, I feel like he lied to his patient to get him. Yeah. He tricked his patient to get him into the OR. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, no, that's not good.
And I'm just going to slightly reference next week's episode. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But when you listen to our podcast, you'll hear us talk about this guy again. So he's the patient in next week's episode. Let's just put it like that. Cain put him at a really bad situation. So
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the wedding.
It was too short, but I liked it. It was beautiful, but I'm a wedding fan, so.
Yeah, they did a good job. It was beautiful. I love the fact that Nic had her mother's dress.
Yep. modernized.
Like when I first saw the pictures, I know Emily, and I was like, that doesn't look like something like Emily would, normally wear, because I've seen her in other, like with her revenge dress and everything. I was just like, there's a total difference in this dress, and a lot of other fans were commenting it, but now we know why. It's because it was a circa 1980s wedding dress.
What's her name? Minna modernized it. So, because I mean, like, I would assume if it was an 80s dress, you'd have puffy sleeves, big bow. That kind of thing. So just the fact that it was slimmed down with no puffy sleeves and big bows and dangling crystals or whatever. So that means Minna sort of did some magic on it. But yeah, and so she also wore blue from Jessie and borrowed as well. So her dress was the old.
We're talking about, Mina had all that, Nic had all that stuff. She honored her sister and she honored everything. But Mina's dress, her bridesmaid's dress are not supposed to be pretty.
Mine were pretty.
I've heard you. I saw your comment, Camille. Don't even say you didn't say something about this dress.
I said it. Minna's dress was a miss. That thing was it. But also at the same time, it's a bridesmaid's dress. My bridesmaid's dresses aren't exactly like supermodel-y, walking down the runway kind of thing, unless you're like Pippa Middleton or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, the gifs that I posted from Friends, was it Friends, where they had like Jennifer Aniston just peek?
Yeah, that's Friends. Yeah.
It was like, it could have been worse, but the dress was not good. The dress was not good. I don't like the skin. I don't like the color. I don't like the sleeves. I don't like ew.
It's just that we know Mina makes her own clothes. So for her to make this dress, unless they bought it or something, it's kind of,
I didn't hate it, making. But generally, the bride chooses your dress, your bridesmaid's dress. So that could have been all Nic.
Yeah.
But you're the only one who got married.
I am married.
Like, how did you do? Did you choose your bridesmaid's dresses?
Yeah, I did.
Or what?
I chose the color but I have a friend that's getting married right now, and she chose the color and sent them all the color and was like, wear whatever dress you want, but it has to be this color. So I think a lot of brides are starting to do that now, but I'm too much of a control freak, so I definitely picked my dress, the color, and was like, this is what you're wearing.
I've only experienced this once with a very close friend. My sister's married, and her wedding, whereas she was very much controlling on the bridesmaids dresses. So I witnessed that one. So
I would assume that would be all Nic.
Irving did the ministry, and Devon was supposed to be.
We kind of predicted that one, because from season 1 episode, he did a wedding, and we were like, oh, well, that'd be cool if he did Conning's wedding.
He's well suited for it.
Yeah, and then what's his name? The Devon was supposed to be the
best man.
The best man, but he had his dad's memorial on that day, so a little sad, but yeah. And then let's talk about the big deal, because I mean, this is the best and my favorite part of the show. I mean, like, for real, Minotaur. Let's talk about it. We've been waiting for that.
They're canon now. They are a couple.
We've been waiting for that for 4 seasons. That damn kiss.
Yeah.
The damn kiss took forever too.
I can't tell you the amount of times I look at this room, watching TV, and I'd be like, can you guys just make out already? just kiss. Just do it, please. And then it was kind of anticlimactic for me. Just a little bit, but I think that's because I, look at the screen and be like, just make out already. Just get it over with.
I think it was cute.
I don't know why.
I think it was like so cute.
Well, see, I felt that way about the Conic proposal. I felt it was anticlimactic. So there we go. But no, the way they handled it, because AJ's like, She was filling space, like Andrea, his old girlfriend. And I was like, that's a really interesting way of saying I love you, but but we got a real kiss, because I remember vividly watching the Halloween episode with the kiss in it and being shocked and realizing it wasn't real. And then now we have it.
Yeah, that was horrible. That was like,
I think Camille's been begging them for a while now.
Thank you, Marquis, for like giving us the first kiss, but damn it. But yeah, no, we had I was so happy. Like when we watched this scene, I was like, oh, please, Lord, please, finally let it happen. Please let it happen. Please let it happen. There's like the whole episode, they were like exchanging looks, you know, and they were like, when she was helping him with the mask thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're so.
But here's the thing, they had all of COVID essentially to grow closer to each other. So this is something that happened over time. It might feel, we didn't feel that time, but they did.
I hate that cliche that they did during the wedding. I hate it, but I don't know, is it accurate when a bridesmaid standing up there and they're talking about the vows, and it happens in every single TV show I watch, where the bridesmaid or someone looks out to the person they love during the vows. I don't think I've ever seen a wedding happen in a show or a movie where someone's not looking at someone else dreamily in the audience. And I was like, I didn't expect the resident to do it, but there it is.
Yeah, that's pretty cliched. Yeah.
That is so true. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah,
but
it's in
so
all of them. And I like the resident doesn't usually do what they don't always do what everyone else does. So I was kind of surprised by it.
I don't know. For the bridesmaids are looking out.
I've never done it. I've been a bridesmaid. I don't remember looking out lovingly at anyone.
Like, I love you, honey. Look,
I would just wave,
out.
like just a big wave, like hey.
That is so weird. But yeah.
There was like one other thing in here, Kit and Belle. He really helped her while she had COVID.
I know, he like delivered her food. He scheduled her nurses to come visit her and take care of her or whatever. I'm like, oh, Belle, you're so cute.
I have like a residual hate for Belle. I don't know why. I love Belle. I do. But every time he comes on screen, no matter how long I watch the show, how many times I've seen the show, I just get a little bit mad at him. Like, God, I still have a tiny little hate. I know he's good. He has actually completely redeemed himself, but I'm so scarred by the first season of Belle that I will forever be just like, oh yeah, we like you. I forgot. You're good. Just forever.
But yeah, even Conrad has his endorsement on Kit and Belle, and it looks like they're hinting towards it going that direction. So the only I cried one of the last scenes is obviously Devon watching his dad passing, and I was like, first off, Manish is really pulling the heartstrings here with the tears and his acting. I
cried
made me
a couple
cry.
times.
Yeah. I wasn't crying. I was just like, well, that's sad. I'm cold-hearted, I guess.
I'll cry over anything. I just started to tear up a little bit about my hatred for Belle. Literally, anything will make me cry.
But yeah, so.
I understand the residual thing for Belle because, Kayla and I, we were discussing in previous episodes whether or not Belle should be back to being CEO or whatever. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, let her, let's get him back there. And I'm sitting there going, dude, I'm afraid that if he gets back the power of being CEO, he's going to be back to season one Belle. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the change in character really is when he lost the power of being CEO.
I agree. I think Belle's bad streak has something to do with being at the very top with very little overhead.
Yeah, so do we really want to risk all of that for him to be back to being the top? You know, because I don't know. She thinks that there's enough character growth for me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't trust it.
But apparently he's in the same boat. He believes that it's too much power, which is why he stayed where he's at. So
see, me and Val agree. But we know that what's her name is gonna step in, but that's another.
Yeah, we really it's kind of in the interview that we did with the writers, with Daniela and Eric. He pretty much says Kit's going to be the CEO this year. So, but so we'll discuss that more later on, like on the second episode.
I am so glad that Eric and Danielle never told us anything about Minotaur. I'm like, did we miss that question? Did we forget that Minotaur? They're like, you should have told us.
I think Amy was the only one that hinted at Minotaur coming.
I know.
She posted multiple times about Minotaur.
Yeah, about the kiss or whatever. So, never knew that it was really season.
The ratings that came back, I'll admit I was a little bit disappointed. I don't know, because they're way lower than what they have been in the past year. But COVID's a big component to that one, I think. Fox is looking at the DVR ratings because live ratings are just not going to.
I feel like Amy said, the ratings for all the shows have been low because of COVID. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not.
But to come into second to This Is Us is a big deal. So we came in second to This Is Us on Tuesday night.
Yeah, but we were only second to This Is Us because in that time slot. So wait, This Is Us is after us. So
it comes on at 9.
Yeah.
But second to This Is Us on the night.
Yeah.
So.
But just the fact that it's to be expected that our ratings are low. I think all shows have a major dip. You know, you would think that they're high because everybody's home doing nothing. But
I think it's cable's so expensive. So I think people probably might be right now getting rid of their cable so they can stream it because it's cheaper to stream. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, Hulu or whatever.
Well, speaking of streaming, Hulu has a second episode right now. So if you have a Hulu subscription, you can go watch the second episode before it airs on Fox on Tuesday night. So you can go ahead and watch it. Wait, no, we don't have to wait. So
yeah.
Episode 2, we are going to discuss it. But we're going to release it after it airs on Fox. But it will be up early on our Patreon account for the people who have actually seen it. So we didn't want to spoil it for everybody. So there you go.
We have 3 patrons right now on the Patreon account.
So Patreon is it's patreon.com/resident podcast. So if you want to listen to that second podcast, that's where you go. And so you can listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. You can always email us, theresidentRulebreakers@gmail.com. You can go to our Facebook group, which is the Resident Fox Fans. If you aren't in there, you have to answer all the questions because one of the 3 of us will let you, or Amy will let you in, but the questions have to be answered. And then our Facebook page is obviously the Resident Rulebreakers podcast. And then Instagram is at the Resident Podcast. You can follow Camille. It's at the Resident on Fox Fans. She posts some stuff that we don't post on the podcast page. So there's some stuff over there. And then I'm at KB Country 37.
Yep. So, and then if you want, Brittany, what's your Instagram?
It's just B Flag Stanley. So BFLAGGSTANLEY.
And then we have a Twitter account at Resident Podcast. So we try to keep that one active, but I forget. So Instagram's really the best bet.
Really
is. Or Facebook. So next week we're going to be talking forward to, unless you have access to our Patreon, then you can listen to it before the episode goes there. Because there you go. So until next week, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Camille.
Bye.
Bye, guys.